mistakes, I just make my case. Drops mic when I'm done. One more can I say? Not bite to my tongue. I don't like the taste. I'm on and I'm on and I own my opponent. I'm always in the zone, either zoned out of zone, and then we can get it poppin'. Pick the topic if you want to skip and shine and skip and hop and took these sports and made a profit. All right, undisputed.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Tatch with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Skip?
I'm not doing very well today because it is countdown to a beatdown. We got 2 days until my team gets annihilated at GOAT.
Good.
Here we go.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, are you? You'll enjoy every second of it.
Every last drop.
Today's Tuesday. We still got Wednesday and then Thursday. But how about we talk about
Ain't
that
nothing like a build up to a good beating.
Yeah.
I remember my grandma used to tell me.
Come on, guys. We are so close to the season opener, and while nobody was surprised to see the defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Thursday night opener, the Cowboys' inclusion raised a few eyebrows. Dallas has missed the playoffs in the past 2 seasons and finished last year 6-10, good for only 3rd place in their own division. So since Skip is not doing so good today, did the Cowboys deserve to be in this game?
Obviously, my team did not deserve to get thrown to the wolves on opening solo stage night at GOAT, at defending champs, at Tampa Bay. The more I think about this, the worse it gets, because obviously my team has missed the playoffs the last 2 years. Obviously, the opening night game at least pits a playoff team against the defending champ, at the very least, pits an arch rival. Like a couple of years ago, we had Green Bay, which had had a bad year the year before, but they were still a good team. They were at Chicago. It was an arch rivalry.
Yes,
Age-old, right? Longest rivalry in the sport.
Yes.
At least if you told me this was Dallas at Washington, which is obviously not going to happen because neither is very good, but if you told me that, I'd say, okay, I got you.
Right.
But I don't got this one because let's just think about my team. As Jenny just pointed out, not only did it go only 8-8 2 years ago and miss the playoffs, but it went 6-10 last year and finished third in one of the worst divisions in the history of the sport.
Yes.
Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
My defense last year was historically bad, certainly for the first 2/3 of the year, finished just barely behind Houston for yards rushing allowed. Am I right?
Yep.
And I think my team's going to be better this year, but I don't know that they're going to be better. So in the end, what do we have here? We have my Cowboys on opening night just on reputation alone. As you often remind me, my team hasn't even played in an NFC championship game since the season I last wrote a Cowboy book about, which was the 1995 season. That's the last time they even made it to the NFC championship game, and obviously went on to win their last Super Bowl after the 95 year. What are we now up to, 20?
I was in my 20s.
You were in your 20s, once upon a time. Yeah, and it was a long time ago. So obviously, this is a reputation image game. This is an America's team game. This is truly, if you boil it all down, this is Brady versus Jerry, because it's just Jerry.
Right.
He is the face of my team. He is the most famous or infamous owner in the history of sports to me, beyond Steinbrenner, beyond Ted Turner, beyond anybody else you can sell.
But you know he'd have it no other way.
Okay, he would have it no other way. And this is Hard Knocks. This is the culmination of episode 5, which airs tonight on HBO, of Hard Knocks. It jettisons, it launches my Cowboys into opening night on Thursday night at the defending champs that are so good to me because they managed to bring everybody back and add a few new pieces, Giovanni Bernard, that I am not going to be surprised if Tampa goes 17-0. I know it's completely against all odds, but I will not be shocked if they go 17-0, and I might just pick them when we do our predictions to go 17-0 because that's how deep and good they are. My team is right now an 8-point underdog, which makes them the biggest underdog of the whole opening weekend. I think you pointed that out yesterday, but they went up a tick from 7.5 to 8. And the truth is, the God's truth is, if I hadn't loved this team for most of my life, since I was 10 years old, which was their first year, and if I were a betting man, I would bet a lot of money on the Bucs to cover 8 because I think this should be a 12-point spread. I think, I've already told you, I think it's going to be 35-10 because my team is in the wrong place at the wrong time. I still like my team to win the NFC least as by default as the lesser of evils in the division. But it's unfair to throw them into this fire on opening night because they did nothing to earn the right to play on opening night. And if they deserve to be there, at least they could be competitive in this game. And frankly, unfortunately, I don't think they will be competitive. So it's completely unfair to my team to just hang an opening L on them that they finished third in their division. How do they belong in this game? They don't belong in it except for the owner and his reputation and the magnitude, the sea to shining sea fascination with the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. And I believe the ratings for opening Thursday night will be through the roof, at least for maybe 3 quarters when people finally say, well, I've seen enough of this, right? Maybe a half, and go to bed. So the more I think about this, the worse it gets. It's just eating me. It's sticking in my craw because I'm saying, how did we deserve to get embarrassed like this? Well, it's because of my owner and his, you know, the drone shot that went through the stars we saw on episode 2 of Hard Knocks. It was the showpiece, the centerpiece of Hard Knocks was that drone shot through the star, right? And that's the Cowboys. Yep. It's all glitz, it's all glitter, it's all country club, it's all state of the art, right?
Show no go.
Okay, you got me. I get it, but I think my team's good enough to win a division, but it's going to start with an L.
But you said it's the worst division in football.
It is. So. I agree. So I'm clinging to that right now. But the truth is, the God's truth is that I have no idea how they wound up in this game except for ratings.
Yeah, exactly. Skip, I agree with everything you just said. Over the last 10 years, only 3 teams have played opening Thursday night after missing the playoff the previous year. The Cowboys has done it twice.
Okay.
There have been 3 teams. The Cowboys have done it twice.
Okay, and you can look at those other games, and like I said, the Green Bay at Chicago, I get that one.
Right. You're talking about the Acme Packers and the Bears. They go back almost 100 years.
They do.
So we get you. You're absolutely right, Skip. But also on the Bucs schedule, you have the Rams, you have Buffalo, you have Indy. So they played these teams during the regular season. Wouldn't that have been a great matchup? The Buffalo Bills, a lot of people think them to make the AFC Championship game, possibly the Super Bowl. Okay. The Rams, that's a hot pick.
All those.
Yes.
All of them. I like them all.
But see,
as a football matchup, they're all better.
All better. Skip, here's the thing. You said you've been a Cowboy fan since 1960, but you got to think about it, Skip. They've been terrible more than they've been good. They were awful in the 60s, great in the 70s, terrible in the 80s, great in the 90s. And they've been the last 2.5 decades, they've been awful. As simple as that. You've had 2 decades in which you've been good. The 70s and the 90s, 60s, 80s, 2010s, and you're off to the races again in the 2020s, being terrible.
Okay, you can't go terrible because 2014, 2016, 2018 weren't terrible.
So, hold on, Skip. You made the playoffs. You win 1 game one of those years because you got to realize Tony Romo only won 2 playoff games, and he was your quarterback. Well, Dak lost his first playoff game. But look at 2010, 2011, 2012.
Terrible.
2013.
No, I got it.
Awful.
Awful. Hard to watch.
2000. Yeah. How were you in the 2000s?
Which 2000?
The 2000, from 2000 to 2010. How were you?
I thought Bill Parcells was going to remedy that, but it never seemed to take off.
Skip, this is the problem that the Cowboys have. Not they don't have, but America have, is that normally we love winners. We do, Skip. But the Cowboys and Jerry understands, I don't need to win. I'm the most valuable. I'm the most profitable franchise in all the world.
In all the world.
Even though I've missed the playoff the last 2 years. Yep. Let one of those soccer teams miss one of their championships or miss the playoffs in 2 years in a row. People lose their mind. They fired everybody. Cowboys, it don't matter. Guess what? We still gonna do box office. And the league knows the Cowboys have them over a barrel because nobody is more generates ratings like the Cowboys, no matter who your quarterback is. It does not matter. You can't outdo them. And the league knows that. There is no way they're supposed to be in this ball game. No way. After missing the playoffs, you mentioned it, 8-8 and 6-10, and somehow they get the showcase game. Next to the because that's a standalone, Skip. Yep. At least when you play the championship game, there's another game. Either you play the late game, you play the early game, but there's 2 games. This is like the Super Bowl. This is a standalone. This is a standalone game. And the Cowboys get to be in it. Why? Because they're the Cowboys, not because they've done anything to warrant it. Like I said, there are other teams on the Bucs schedule that's more deserving. The Rams, Buffalo, Indy is more deserving than the Cowboys, but the Cowboys got it because of the star, because they generate ratings. But still,
heck, even if you remember, they threw the Bucs to New Orleans last year for the opener. Even if you put New Orleans with Jameis at quarterback back at the Bucs on opening night, I'd say, okay, I got it.
It's hard to see a scenario in which any team is not going to generate ratings for this game, for the simple fact it's the defending Super Bowl champ, Skip, the pageantry that goes along with it. They unveil, they drop the banner. Everybody's in it. It's so, and plus you get fans back. I'm not so sure. Hell, you could put Jacksonville and Texans in this game, and it's still going to do ratings because it's a standalone, because it's opening day, because NFL football is back, because the fans are back in the stands. The Cowboys.